Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with my top 5 most anticipated games of fall 2018. Now for those of you who are accustomed to my upload schedule on the channel, you may be wondering where the Ham Radio podcast is. Well, it was cancelled this week sadly. The reason for that is because Carrick's eyes were bugging him. On top of that, his guest was late, our timing would have been off entirely, and then last but certainly not least, my grandmother was admitted to the hospital, so I've been handling that personally, and I didn't have time to do the podcast either, so we had to cancel it for this week. I wanted to still give you guys content on Sunday. Some of you may be concerned I'm still focusing on making videos at a time like this. Trust me, it's okay. She's doing well. And on top of that, it's oddly therapeutic creating a video because you just devote your mind to one task and it's good for a time like this. So don't worry about me. I appreciate your concern, but we're doing all right. Now let's get into some awesome video games. This fall is shaping up to be a good one for sure. And I wanted to break down a list of only 5 games I'm most excited for this year. I wanted to expand the list a little bit more, do 10, but I want to narrow down to 5, talk about why those specifically excite me, and then get into some omissions afterwards. I don't really have these in particular order, it's just more so that 1 and 2 I'm most excited for, so keep that in mind as I go along this list. Starting off with the first game, which is Darksiders 3. This was a title I really didn't expect to happen whatsoever, because when it was first revealed during its pre-alpha build, I saw it and said, this looks like it can be cool, but holy crap, it's in rough shape, and then it fell off the map. We heard nothing about it. All of a sudden then, IGN first happens, and now we're seeing a ton of brand new gameplay for it. I was always a quiet supporter of the Darksiders series. I always knew it was kind of, I guess, a cult classic in a way. It really wasn't that mainstream game that had a ton of attention for it, such as its counterpart, which was at the time God of War. It's interesting how this game will stack up once again in a year where God of War has released. It seems Darksiders can never truly escape that shadow. But more than anything, it seems like it'll be a good palate cleanser of a game. A simple, combo-focused beat-em-up that evolves from its sequel, which tried to open up the game in many ways. And you guys already know, I love my hidden gems. For example, my favorite game of the year so far, Vampire, which is a game that really wasn't on many people's radars in the first place. I love finding those secret, special games that are filled with a lot of love. That's usually where a lot of special things happen, at least in my opinion. So Darksiders 3 really has my attention this fall. And after a very busy fall, because it's coming out towards the end of it, this will be the perfect title to look forward to. Another game I'm very excited for this fall, and holy crap, I did not expect to be saying this, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I played this game when I was out at E3 2018, and I really liked what I played. I'm really excited about the direction of the series. Some are concerned, yes, it's not really an assassin game. It's not about Assassin's Creed. It's really there just to sell copies. And I don't really deny that at all. I haven't done my research that much ever since I demoed the game, because once I played it, I was sold. I love the direction with the conversation system, the multiple protagonists, the big battles, the setting, the art style, the color palette. This game sold me instantly. I was just like, yep, I'm in, I'm on board. So give me some more Assassin's Creed. After Origins, I saw it was trending in the right direction. I was ready to be a fan again. Hot take, my favorite Assassin's Creed after the awful story, mind you, is Assassin's Creed 3, because the homestead was littered with some really enjoyable activities. It was the birth of the ship, and the series really evolved from there in certain ways, where all of a sudden we get Black Flag, which is about being on the sea. And I got some vibes of that with Origins, where it introduced a lot of potential mechanics that could be carried forward into future entries. So that's also why Odyssey has me gripped. Number 3, I can't show gameplay for this because Nintendo's policy is awful, so how about some Dragon Ball FighterZ gameplay as I grind through that story? The third game on this list is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's a very personal reason I'm excited for this game. While Super Smash Bros. 64 is one of my favorite games of all time, I've always been a very casual Smash player, and my friends are so much better than me at this game. So my goal with this new Smash Bros. Is to get good. And I think Smash Bros. Ultimate is the perfect time to do so, because all I see in front of me is a land of opportunity, a roster of every single character in every single Smash Bros. Game available for me to pick from, and the competition will indeed be intense. I can't wait to make patron videos, play with patrons, and enjoy that friendly competition that always comes with Smash Brothers. Remember what I said in the beginning, these last 2 are going to be the ones I'm really truly excited for. While I'm excited for everything else on the list, these ones got me super pumped. Number 2, My Heroes One Justice. As a huge fan of My Hero Academy, when I first set eyes on this game, it was like a dream come true. And then I see the roster, and then I play at E3, and then I see just how concurrent it is with the show that is airing right now, season 3. And I realize, oh my goodness, this is something I've always dreamed of as a kid. It always feels like when you pick up a game that's based off a show, not only is it usually bad. It's always covering what happened a year ago in the story because it's hard to sync up that game development with the show. And I totally understand why it happens, but with Hero Academy, I love the story mode where you could play as the hero or villain side, the character customization, the art style, the expansive roster. They're really including everybody there. And like I said, man, I cannot get over the fact that the story leads up till what's happening in season 3. That has me so jazzed. For some reason, Namco Bandai has not put a collector's edition out for this game, which I would be all over in a second. But yeah, man, I know some people will trash on it. Oh, it's an anime game. Oh, it's a weeb fighter, whatever. If you're not watching My Hero Academy, you're messing up. It is so good. Some of the best world building I've seen in a show, some of the most endearing characters. It's really hard to not get attached. And when you see a game doing it justice, pardon the pun there, but it's just hard not to get really pumped over this one, especially with all the content it's packing in it. Last but certainly not least on my list, my most anticipated game of this fall is Spider-Man PS4. Funny enough, I'm wearing a Flash long sleeve shirt, but I love Spider-Man, okay? I wore a costume on the podcast for him. I dressed up for him as Halloween. I just got a Miles Morales sweatshirt. I have a Spider-Man lamp. I am currently reading like 2 different Spider-Man comics. I'm obsessed with the guy. And Spider-Man PS4 by Insomniac, who's made some of my favorite games, the Ratchet & Clank series. I love Sunset Overdrive. They are masters of fun within the gameplay, and especially when they're doing a gadget-focused Spider-Man, which is something I have been advocating for ages. Someone please do it, because he's a genius. It's not just about the webs, it's about what he can create, because he is so damn smart, and one company finally gets it. And when I saw Spider-Man on the PS4, I knew this would be a special game. I don't know how the story's going to turn out. I don't know if it'll end up being mediocre, but I'm very satisfied with what I'm seeing in the terms of gameplay. Truly feeling like Spider-Man. I know a lot of us like to go back and look at Spider-Man 2 on the PS2 and the original Xbox and go, that was the real Spider-Man game. But if you've gone back and played it now, it truly has not aged that well. And recent Spider-Man games, like the Amazing Spider-Man series, the first one showed promise while the second one was so bad. Much like my Ninja Turtles, my boy Spidey's been done dirty, so I'm really excited to see him get some justice. Him and the Ninja Turtles, they need a good job done to them. It seems Spider-Man's finally getting his due. Let's hope Ninja Turtles are next, but yes, Spider-Man is my most anticipated game of fall 2018. Now for the omissions. You're probably wondering where 2 games are. Fallout 76, because this is a primarily Bethesda channel, and Red Dead Redemption 2. I want to start off with Red Dead because I know a lot of you guys are really pumped for that one. Truth be told, I've never been the biggest Rockstar fan. I admire their work. I think they are incredible developers, but their games have just never been up my alley. The sandbox open world stuff has just never been my speed. My favorite game from Rockstar has always and forever will be Bully. I love that game to death. I love what it did with the combat system, what it did with character interaction, how you can mess around in Bully's world, and also the personal relation you had to certain gameplay progressions, like getting a slingshot was a big deal. Plus, when playing it for the first time as a younger kid, you were able to embrace that mischievous side of you without actually doing legitimate damage to someone, like giving someone a wedgie. I've never done that before, but I got to do it in Bully. So Red Dead 2 absolutely has my curiosity. I'm definitely buying it, don't get me wrong, but out of everything else I'm really looking to this fall, it doesn't speak to me the most, also because I just wasn't a big fan of the first Red Dead, which I know, lots of hot takes going on right now. Gives you any clarity, Wild West things have never been my shtick, whether it was movies, shows, it just never really clicked with me. And I imagine some are curious where Fallout 76 is. As a diehard Fallout fan, I am excited to get into this. It is going to be a multiplayer game that I'm pumped to get together with my friends and play. I'm looking forward to doing streams with it. Obviously, it'll be great for content. But right now, as a fan, I'd say the best word I have to describe my feelings for Fallout 76 is curiosity, not excitement. I'm very curious how this game will play out because it can be a blast. It can be such a fun time, or it can go the exact opposite way. And I just felt like if I were to report that, yeah, I'm so pumped for Fallout 76, that just wouldn't be the case at all. I'm more so curious how it's going to play out, and obviously I'll be on board trying to get into as many betas as possible and trying to give you guys as much coverage as possible. But obviously it's one I'll have my eyes all over. So those are my 5 most anticipated games of fall 2018. I'd love to hear what you guys are looking forward to this fall, so fire away in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.